Okay, we are live on Instagram and on YouTube. Double check, looking good. I think sound is good, everything is good. And we're ready to rock. Here we go. This is live, guys. He's about to go to the White House. He's about to show up at the White House. So here we are. Let me just make some last minute little adjustments. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. What's up, State Line? What's up, Jennifer? Hello, hello. Subscribers, any duration. Just doing some settings, guys, getting dialed in. I came up to Lake Arrowhead, guys. I'm at the cabin today. We're hanging out. And boom, boom, boom. Just updating a couple settings here, guys. Getting set up. Okay. We got that dialed in. We got that dialed in. Yeah. All right. What do you guys think of the cabin setup here? It's a little different. I got this little camera as well right here. This view. Got a couple different little views.
This one's ours, right?
Oh.
This is the tag out move. I just want to make sure. Okay, got it.
There we go. By the way, got the new red hat. Instagram is alive. Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Incredible Volk. Fail under Mamdani. The guy is the mayor. Ding dong. The question is, dude, I was thinking about this today. Think about this, guys. Mamdani is meeting President Trump today, and he's literally never held a job. He's never held any kind of public office. I think just before this, he might have held some kind of office. But who is the guy? We literally voted. I say we because I'm American. We're all American. But New Yorkers, Americans, voted this guy in. And he's now the mayor. He's going to be the mayor of New York City. And who is the guy? He's a nobody. And I'm not just talking shit. I'm just saying he's a nobody that's literally now the mayor of New York. Barry on Instagram says, why would Trump lower himself to meet with Mamdani? That kind of thinking is why I was thinking the same thing. I was like, why? Who is this guy even to go meet Trump? And not that Trump is like some god or some, whatever, king or whatever. He's Trump, though. He's the president of the United States. And, guys, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Let me adjust my mic settings and stuff here a little bit. I should probably have my mixer right here next to me. I don't know if I can do that now, but I think I'm fine. I'll just leave it. It's fine. It won't reach. Damn. This studio setup here is out of control. If you saw what I'm doing here to make this work with this mic and all this stuff. State Line says, wouldn't have invited that commie POS to my house. He's only Subway he's only Subway worthy, bro. Dude, it's super
Although, I mean, just
wild.
know what the intent is behind you.
All right, just adjusting a few more settings here. Let me see here. Let me just adjust that. Okay, that's a better. Yeah, that's a better setting. DASCOM. All right, that's a little loud, and that's better. All right, here we go. Yeah, so I can't on Instagram says, why is this funny to me even though nothing about Mamdani is funny? It's I think it's funny that our country is like this, that our own fellow Americans have voted this dude to be the mayor of New York, and now he's gonna go meet the president and all this stuff. So, and he's gonna run the country. He's gonna not the country. He's gonna run the city of New York. Never did a thing in his life. Tried to be a rapper, and now he's gonna run the city of New York. State Line says, what's it take to move your sound equipment? Fairly easy or a pain in the ass? Bro, it's a lot of work. I have 2 cameras on this setup, so I went a little bit overboard. I don't need all this to do what I'm doing. I could honestly use probably my camera here and my mic, but to make it sound as clean as it does for you guys. And let me mute the video. There you go. There we go. Let's mute that video. To make the mic sound as good and clean as it does right now, it's I gotta get this and the arm, and the sound mixing board is this big and all this kind of stuff. Not all needed, but it's all good. But multiple cameras now to have different angles. I'm trying to be up here for a good 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 days. I want to be up here in the cabin for as long as I can. If you want, I'll show you what the cabin looks like. What I'm looking at here. Let me make an adjustment here. Let's go to this camera, and I could take this, and turn this around, and you could sort of see. Here, let me just take it off of the tripod. I know I'm going a little nuts here. You could kind of see some of my equipment here. Look at this. Look at all this stuff in front of me. And then this is what I'm looking at here. This is the living room of the cabin. Got it upstairs with 2 bedrooms up there. And this is Miss Medication hanging out right here. Matthew says Trump hates the middle class. So here's more of the cabin, guys. Here's more of the other side. That's the front door. There's some stairs that go down to downstairs. We got 2 more bedrooms downstairs. But this is the cabin right here. So just a little tour. Maybe I could just leave that camera there, like right like that. Huh? To show the wilderness? No. Miss Medication says no. Make some adjustments. All right. Hopefully you guys aren't dizzy from all that. There we go. Is Mamdani going to show up sometime soon? Let's see. Let's take a look. Everybody's lined up. State Line says, is she loving all the equipment all over the living room? She says no. She has OCD, bro. No, she's not loving it. But it's all good. It is what it is. Looks like he's arriving at a side entrance of the White House, not the main entrance. Well, we'll take a look. We got these guys live here. We'll see how this goes down. Matthew says Trump hates the middle class, but from what I see, Trump has done more for the middle class than your prior last 3 Democratic presidents. So I don't know. Bernie Smith on Instagram says, I hope ICE escorts him away. And then Matthew is doubling down. I didn't read this one. He said, Matthew says, Mamdani has more morals and values than Trump in his little toe. Morals and values. Please explain. Please explain. Should I post that up? Should I put that on the screen? Let's put that on the screen. Let's see. Does that work? Can you see that? Yeah. This dude on YouTube. Come on, man. What morals and values are you talking about, bro? Come on now. So, guys, we're here. We're waiting. It's 12 o'clock. Mamdani should be showing up. And I'm hoping that Trump's going to do what he normally does and brings him in, sits him down, and has the whole press out there asking questions live. Ped's nurse says this should be good. Yes, it should. That's why we're all sitting here. I don't have popcorn. We do. Do we have popcorn here in the cabin? We do, right? Actually, we do have popcorn. I should get my popcorn out, bro. But I can't have greasy fingers, buttery fingers when I'm doing all this work. Yeah. So it looks like they set up the cameras so that Mamdani's going to come and speak at these mics right here. Some of you are saying that he's already there. Let's take a look and see if I can find another.
What's the new mayor's name?
If we can find that, if that's a thing.
Is it Zohran Mamdani? Is that the name? Oh, you know. What have you guys been up to all day? Did you go to the Christmas market?
I don't see anything there. No, he's not there. Oh, they're just trolling, dude. They're just trolling.
Where's your brother at? Is he still at Aftercare?
No, nobody's there. Nobody's there yet. So this is it. Mamdani hasn't showed up yet. This is where all the streams are on. So here we are.
Pool says he's in.
What's that?
Pool report says he's in. Okay. So he's here.
Oh, my boss is calling. I really gotta go, but he's very busy. But I'll FaceTime you again when I have a chance. All right, love you. Bye.
You see that, Dano?
Paul said he's in.
Yeah, Stephen Schilling just tweeted he's in.
Paul said
Hey
he's
there.
in.
And
Maybe he is. Let's see.
Nobody saw him go on the Southwest.
Yes. Because we're hearing that the Oval Pool
the
Spring
two
that she's now
SUVs were
playing
not him.
is
Secretary
the
Treasurer.
top of the meeting. And so if the president is still and that gets run out, yes. Because we're hearing that in real time.
I have people here. Oh, my colleague.
He's in, so the pool spray is over.
No, there's no pool spray.
After that, so yeah, as soon as you're seeing
Dana?
what my estimate,
Hey, we had someone Southwest Cape didn't
that
see.
old spray, doing real meetings.
So there's a bunch of commotion. Some people are saying that he's in. Some people saying he's not. So from what we can see, I don't think he's in yet. So we'll keep it right here and go from there. By the way, guys, this is the new red hat. State Line asked for the red stitching, and I'm so glad you did, bro. It looks really good. It's actually my new favorite color. My favorite was the yellow, the gold. But I got these in. I got the gold in. I got the white in. So they're all on the site. They're all in stock and ready to go. But these are them, bro. This is the one, man. What up, everybody? What up, boo-boo?
Hey there. So what's going on?
Patrick says, why is Trump meeting with this? He doesn't even say with him. He says with this. Tell me, this leader of New York City right now, shame on him. Yeah, he shouldn't be able to say anything to make this his He's going off, bro. Oh, man.
I'm gonna have
Oh, here we go. Kim from New York says Trump is the best president in my lifetime. Love MAGA, America first. Kim, did you vote in this election? And if you did, for New York City, if you live in New York, who did you vote for? I'm curious. I'm curious who you voted for. There we go.
All right, guys. Well, this is the busiest part of my day, so I do have to go. But I'm gonna call you tonight before bedtime.
Mandamus, he says. EW says Mandamus is a grifter. Oh, let Freedom Ring is back in. Oh man, here we go. Are you able to read that text that I put up on the screen, or is it too small?
So if you want, I bet you at 5 o'clock.
I'll tell you what, I'll call you.
Right in the
I'll call you and we can.
You can see me if you want.
Here we go.
All right, guys, I gotta go. Love you.
Let's make this a little bigger.
No, KNBC. I wish it would be nice and warm. Right?
Let's take a look, dude. Medication says this dude says medication sounds goofy. Medication sounds goofy. Amazing, bro. Thank you. My name is Medi. My channel is Medication. Love it or hate it, bro. It is what it is. Go make your own channel. Patrick says R.I.P. New York, dude. Yeah, Bernie, that's what he was supposed to be here at 12, but he's late. And so supposed to be here at 3 p.m., which is 12 my time. I'm in Southern California. So, yeah. Guys, thank you for subscribing. I'm watching the numbers go up right here. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Good looking out. I do streams typically every morning and evening. So about 6 days a week. Yesterday, little off because I made the trip up here to Lake Arrowhead. So today I'm in the cabin. I'm gonna try to do more streams from the cabin. We're gonna have winter out here. Gonna be some snow. It's supposed to be snowing today, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, White House 4.
White House. Okay.
I have. Come, sir.
What up, man?
Some of
Incredible Volk says NorCal over here. What's up? What's up with NorCal? Dude, I don't know what part of NorCal are you. Are you in the Bay? Are you in the woke Bay area? The super duper woke Bay area? Damn, I got eyelashes in my eye. That's what happens when you're Persian and you got these crazy eyelashes, bro. They just end up in your eyes like 3 times a day. It's wild. You learn how to wash your eyes out with water real good. Let's see.
so I'm going up Wednesday. I'll probably take the train. I like the train.
Look at this dude. Matthew says, what qualifications makes you a political scientist? I don't know what he's talking about, bro. What Trump policies do you support? A lot of them. I support a lot of Trump policies. State Line says, what qualifications do you have to make assumptions and pass judgment? Bro, here let me break it down for you while we're waiting for Moron Mamdani. Um, so so my name is Medi. My channel is Medication. I I do some homework, I do some research, I do my part, and I load your lips with talking points. And we discuss stuff, we debate stuff together. I bring out some of the questions from both sides, and I give you nice, clear, concise ways of replying to them. And because I'm replying to you guys, and so I load your lips, and I give you, some talking points when you're discussing with your family and friends. And as a result of that, I am kind of your medication. This show is kind of the medication that you guys are taking, and you guys are the medics. You guys are literally medics, and you discuss. You can go and talk to your friends and family, be more informed, be well informed, have great ways to reply to common lies. There's a lot of lies, both sides, but there's a lot of lies back and forth, and you get to figure out which ones are lies, which ones are real, all on the show. And you get to figure out different ways to respond. And I learned from you guys. You guys also do the same thing. You guys are responding to each other, and so you guys get to see your own responses. So this show in itself is not just me. The show itself is medication, and you guys are medics. You guys are literally going out and speaking to everyone in the world. Meds to medication to the TDS. Yeah, we're literally doing this together. Yep. Bischoff says medics or manics. A little bit of both, man. A little bit of both. Did you make me coffee? This is my coffee right here. Oh, and by the way, I'm wearing the shirt, bro. Should I show them the shirt? Should I show them the shirt? You don't, what does it say? You don't tell people what to think. You help them to learn how to think. Great point. Bernie makes a great point. Bernie says, Bernie from Instagram says, you should teach people how to think, not what to think. I agree. And problem is, he just explained the problem with our colleges, our universities. They try to teach people what to think and not how to think when they're supposed to be teaching people how to think. You guys want to see this shirt? Let's show you the shirt. There you go. Let's go like this. You guys know who the Great White Hope is? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. There it is. The Great White Hope, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Let me get up so you can see it. That's the Great White Hope right there. That's right. I'm going to trigger some of these guys in the chat. Maybe make some adjustments before more on the Mamdani shows up. Yeah. More on Mamdani, dude. You could take that mic.
Beta! Beta!
Oh, I got my soundboard back. I got my soundboard back. Here we go, baby. Here we go. I got my soundboard. Dude, I kind of like this setup. Oh, you can see my shirt now, the Great White Hope. Oh, let's keep it right there, huh? Is that better? Miss Medication says yes. Can you see it clear enough in the picture or not really? Yeah? I could make it a little bit bigger. I could do this. More on Mamdani? More, more on Salami, more on Mamdani. Beta male.
Beta male.
Come on, baby. I got my buttons. I got my buttons. I got them.
So you gay? That's a lie. That's amazing.
Let's go, baby. Where's my Great White Hope button?
The Great White Hope.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. I got my buttons. I got my buttons. Here it is. All right. Let me do another zoom and do another adjustment. Last adjustment. Last. There we go. Get a little more intimate. Here you go. This is the Great White Hope. Right here. There it is. Right?
The Great White Hope.
That's the Great White Hope. The Great White Hope. If those of you that know Jesse Lee Peterson, you know who the Great White Hope is. Now you know. Now you know. Are you going to jump on, bro? You going to jump on with us? Let's do this, baby. I got all my buttons here, bro.
Satan is your daddy, woman.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
That's amazing. Beta male.
I love it. Should I put on the chat on the screen? Let's see. Where is my... There we go. How's that look on the screen? You don't like that on the screen? Miss Medication says no. No? Well, you don't see Instagram. Look, you can see the Instagram chat in there. You don't like that? Miss Medication doesn't like it. Some of you do like it. Those my grapes? You bought me some grapes? Damn. What a good brother, bro. Brother-in-law. What do you think? You guys don't like this on the screen right there? Man, I think you're right. Run them both at the same time. I hate splitting it up, though. That's the only problem. What do you think, though, Min, State Line? Some of you guys... What do you guys think? Is that cool right there? So you can see Instagram and YouTube at the same time?
Well, yeah, members of Congress have come out here quite a bit. Repos has come out here quite a bit.
Do you guys care to see both at the same time on your screen, or no? You won't even look at that. No?
There's been other people that have come out here from after going in. But nobody with votes.
Looks good. Take it down when Trump comes out. Yeah, hell yeah. That's what I'll do. I'll take it down when Trump comes out. So here's the thing, guys. Again, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. Who's this Mamdani guy, dude? What are we doing with this Mamdani guy, bro? Who is this clown, bro? Never had a job in his life. Never did anything in his life. Never held a position in his life. And now he's the mayor-elect of New York City, and he's gonna go right now meet our president, the Great White Hope. Do I have to hit the button again for you guys?
The Great White Hope.
He's right here, bro. This is the Great White Hope. That's it right there. He's going to go meet the Great White Hope, dude. Are we for real, bro, with this? Are we for real right now? Is this really happening? How is that even possible, bro? Exactly, bro. He's a beta.
Beta male.
Hell yeah.
Beta male.
Love it, bro.
Beta male. Beta male.
All right, here we go. Patrick says, another beautiful city. controlled by Democrats, going down in a flame of hell. Oh, buddy, it's sad, bro. It's sad.
New York City's Democrat socialist and arguably communist mayor-elect requested a meeting with President Trump. And now Zohran Mamdani has arrived in Washington, D.C. The president agreed to meet with him at the White House. And we could see quite a clash or a calm conversation, or maybe a combination of both. The president has repeatedly called Mamdani a communist, but says he wants him to succeed for the sake of New York City. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. Mamdani posted a
cabin
selfie
stuff,
this morning
guys.
aboard his flight to D.C., and the White House press secretary weighed in yesterday on the face-to-face.
We have a communist coming to the White House because that's who the Democrat Party elected as the mayor of the largest city in the country. I think it's very telling, but I also think it speaks to the fact that President Trump is willing to meet with anyone and talk to anyone and to try to do what's right on behalf of the American people.
And I know you heard her. It's truly extraordinary. A self-described socialist coming into the seat of American capitalism. The sit-down comes after months of this.
The last thing we need is a communist. He's a total nut job.
That there is no borough that will be free from Trump's cruelty.
The Mamdani thing is it's a disaster waiting to happen.
This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one.
He's a communist. He's not a socialist, by the way. There's a big difference. He's a communist. He's down and dirty. He's a communist.
My administration would be Donald Trump's worst nightmare.
A very interesting backdrop for today's big event at the White House. The U.S. House has just passed a resolution denouncing socialism. Republicans say it sends a message straight into the Oval Office. Former White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer is with me in moments. First, let's go to Jackie Heinrich at the White House. Jackie.
Harris, President Trump and the 34-year-old mayor-elect have traded harsh words, including in Mamdani's election victory speech, where he seemed to taunt the president. Just this morning, President Trump called that a dangerous statement, urging him to respect Washington, because if he does not, there isn't a chance he will succeed.
Guys, while you're watching, just know we're waiting for Mamdani to show up right now as we speak. And so we're just waiting. While we're watching, we're just kind of listening to some of these other clips.
But not everyone here is inviting Mamdani in with open arms.
Another big story is that last night President Trump announced that tomorrow he's going to be hosting a meeting with the New York City mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. He calls him communist.
I might have a
He's not wrong about that.
And we might see President Trump greet him when he arrives here at the White House. So far, this Oval Office sit-down is closed to press, but often we see those events open up to cameras for a lengthy Q&A. Mamdani wants to talk about affordability with the president.
I know that for tens of thousands of New Yorkers, this meeting...
Miss Medication says Mamdani's face is just, ugh, can't even look at it, bro.
It's between two very
different
candidates who they voted for the same reason.
The smile, bro, his smile, bro, it just gives you the heebie-jeebies for some reason.
Who would take on the cost of living crisis that makes it impossible for working people to afford living in this city.
Mamdani posted to X, in the richest country on earth, 40% of New York City families can't afford weekly food costs, and food prices are up 33% over the past decade. It's time for a city government that puts affordability at the top of the agenda. But President Trump is among those who have chided Mamdani's promises, saying you can't pay for free buses, free childcare, and raise the minimum wage without raising taxes on corporations, which could cause a wealth exodus from the capitalism center of the world.
Correct.
Well, I don't really know. He's got a different philosophy. He's a little bit different. I give him a lot of credit for the run. He did a successful run, and we all know that runs are not easy. But I think we'll get along fine.
So far, we don't know who else might join the meeting, except, of course, for President Trump, who has a new nickname for his guest, Kami Mamdani.
I like it. Kami Mamdani is a good one, actually. I like Kami
Politico frames
Mamdani.
the meeting this way. Mamdani's meeting with Trump
I
comes
like
with
it.
a power disadvantage, and here's part of it, quote, the meeting sets the tone for the city's future. Mamdani can't afford Trump punishing the city or having his power clipped. But appeasing him or appearing to cow to him will not be well received by the supporters who propelled him into City Hall. In focus now, Ari Fleischer, former White House secretary and Fox News contributor. All right, so you're watching this and looking for what exactly, Ari? Because there are a lot of things at play here.
I'm looking for which Mamdani shows up. Is it going to be the strident Mamdani who on election night said, turn it up, whatever that meant? That was his advice to Donald Trump. I don't know what that means. Is it a practical Mamdani? Is it the Mamdani who reappointed the New York City police commissioner? Or is it going to be the ideologue fervent socialist whose views are distinctly out of touch with the American people? Most New Yorkers, despite him winning the election, are not socialists. And what's he going to say to Donald Trump about immigration? That will be what turns this into a Flashpoint Zelensky-style blow-up in the Oval Office. Or if he steers clear of that topic, will it be more like Donald Trump visiting with Kim Jong-un?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, a new op-ed on FoxNews.com on
Bernie from Instagram says, I hope Rubio joins the meeting and Marines remove him. I hope Rubio's there. I hope the squad is there, bro.
messages Mamdani should hear, a few of them at least. Look at this. Capitalism expands supply. Socialism rations it. Capitalism creates jobs. Socialism creates dependence. Mamdani was asked about his very ambitious promises and apparently doesn't care how they are just paid for. He just wants them
What do you guys think? Kami Mamdani or Moron Mamdani? Which one's better?
to get done. Watch this.
I think that a lot of this is still a case to be made, whether it's the corporate tax or whether it's the personal income tax on those who make more than $1 million a year or more. I think that these are the clearest ways. I've also said that if there are other ways to raise this funding, the most important fact is that we fund it, not the question of how we do it, but that we do it.
Your reaction?
Well, that's a little bit of pragmatism on behalf of a bad idea. But at least he's being pragmatic in that sense. He's not married to just one type of tax increase. The problem is all those tax increases are going to be bad for the people of New York City. It's a pipe dream, and this is why I think he is an ideologue. He is a fervent socialist, and he's going to fail the people of New York City because he cannot bring down prices. He cannot bring down rent. If he freezes rent, he's going to create a shortage of housing, or even worse than
Kami
New York City
Mamdani
currently has.
What do you guys think? Kami Mamdani's better? We're still waiting for him to show up right now at the White House. He says Kami identifies clearly. Yeah, it does. Kami Mamdani, not Moron Mamdani. Oh man, this is good, bro. This is good. This. Oh, the beauty is we got Trump, dude. The beauty is we have Trump, and you know, Trump is the only one that will give him these nicknames and just push on it. I love it. Let's go.
There are apartment buildings throughout Manhattan that are empty because landlords can't make money, and so they'd rather take the house off the market. This is the problem with socialism. It doesn't work, and it hurts the poor, the needy, and the middle class the most. The rich will be fine. They'll move out of New York City. They'll keep an apartment as a secondary residence. They'll visit there less than the mandatory 180 days a year that would trigger New York taxes.
Wow.
They'll get it figured out. It's the poor who will suffer the most.
Well, we mentioned that the House vote denouncing socialism has happened already, and here's a little bit of the debate before that vote passed.
Americans built New York City as...
Look at the TDS in the chat, bro. Matthew, wait, what is it? I don't even know. What is this? Matthew something or other says, stay in your cabin, loser. His TDS is hitting hard, dude. TDS is hitting hard. Sir, you are a Trump hater, and you are a beta male.
You are a Trump hater.
No.
And you are a beta male.
Beta male.
Beta male. Beta male.
Beta male. Come on now, bro.
Gateway for immigrants seeking
Get a hold of yourself.
We built it on freedom, self-reliance, and open markets. not on forced redistribution or centralized planning. The situation now extends to Seattle, where the mayor-elect has chosen to boycott Starbucks, a company founded in her own city. Is this what we want? A country where those who run our cities turn their backs on the very entrepreneurial spirit that made them thrive?
Well, how much does it matter that this has happened now in the House, that denouncement of socialism ahead of this meeting between President Trump and Mamdani?
I mean, I'm not a fan of these resolutions in the House. I think they have other priorities that are more in tune with our day-to-day needs. It is indicative how many Democrats vote for it, because it shows that socialism is not popular in the United States, despite New York having a socialist mayor and now Seattle having a socialist mayor. But look, here, if I'm the press covering this meeting, I know they're going to go for the flashpoint to Trump versus Mamdani, et cetera.
What's going on? They're moving around here. Is Mamdani here?
There's people behind you. So we're going to, that's just going to cross.
I think he's, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Kami Mamdani's in the house, in the White House, that is. Wow, bro. A nobody. Literally a nobody, bro. Never had a job in his life, pulling up to the White House. You gotta love America, bro. You gotta love America, bro. Oh, there he is, bro. We're in the Oval Office, baby. Wow. Here we go. Let me see if there's a White House feed. Yep.
Against, a lot of smart people, starting with the early primaries against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat him easily. And I congratulated him. And we talked about some things in very strong common, like housing and getting housing built, and food and prices, and the price of oil is coming way down. That anything I do is going to be good for New York. If I can get prices down, it's good for New York, and we've got them down, way down from last year. We have, as you know, I've been saying to a lot of people, Walmart said that Thanksgiving this year is exactly 25% less than last year, so that's good for New York, good for everybody. But I just want to congratulate. I think you're going to have, hopefully, a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am, I will say. There's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything. And we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
What the hell's going on, bro? What is he saying?
Please.
I appreciated the meeting with the president, and as he said, it was a productive meeting focused on a place of shared admiration and love, which is New York City, and the need to deliver affordability to New Yorkers, the 8.5 million people who call our city their home, who are struggling to afford life in the most expensive city in the United States of America. We spoke about rent, we spoke about groceries, we spoke about utilities, we spoke about the different ways in which people are being pushed out, and I appreciated the time with the president, I appreciated the conversation. I look forward to working together to deliver that affordability for New Yorkers.
Thank you very much. Any questions, please?
President Trump, Stephen Nelson from the New York Post. I've got a question for you and then also one for the mayor-elect. Sure. For you, you've referred to Mr. Mamdani as a communist. Could you describe why you feel that way? And also, will you do anything to stop him from arresting Prime Minister Netanyahu if he visits New York?
Well, we didn't discuss your second part of the question. And on your first part, I mean, he's got views that are a little out there, but who knows? I mean, we're going to see what works, or he's going to change also. We all change. I changed a lot. From when I first came to office. It's now quite a while ago. It's quite a while. My first term was great. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We're doing even better now. We're doing much better now than we did even the first term. And I can tell you some of my views have changed. And we had discussions on some things. I'm not going to discuss what they were, but that I feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think he is going to surprise some conservative people, actually. And some very liberal people he won't surprise them because they already like him.
And for Mr. Mamdani, it sounds like you had a productive discussion, but just days ago you referred to President Trump as a despot who had betrayed the country. You said you'd be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the president is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are many, and also focused on the shared purpose that we have in serving New Yorkers. And frankly, that is something that could transform the lives of the 8.5 million people who are currently struggling under a cost of living crisis, with 1 in 4 living in poverty. And the meeting came back again and again to what it could look like to lift those New Yorkers out of struggle and start to deliver them a city that they could do more than just struggle to afford it, but actually start to live in it.
And I've been called much worse than a despot, so it's not that insulting. Maybe I think he'll change his mind after we get to working together. Yes, please.
Mr. President, Anthony Marshak from MTV Lebanon. I would like to ask you a question about.
God, bro, I can't believe this, dude.
Said that Hezbollah in Lebanon is not in a good position, and Lebanon now is the final unresolved after Gaza and Syria. Given your assessment, like, what do you say for the Lebanese today? It's the Independence Day in Lebanon, and what is your next move to push toward disarmament? The disarmament of Hezbollah.
Well, we are pushing for total disarmament of Hamas and, frankly, everybody else. And we actually have peace in the Middle East. As you know, the King of Saudi Arabia just left yesterday. We had some great meetings, and he's made a contribution toward the United States of more than $1 trillion. We have now over $20 trillion coming in. No country has ever had anything like that, not even close. If you go to 2 trillion or 1 trillion, it's a lot. We have 20 or $21 trillion. I think that Hezbollah has been a problem in Lebanon, big problem. We're working with Lebanon. We're working with everybody in the Middle East. That's another thing I think we have in common. We want to see peace in the Middle East, and we actually have now, for the first time, peace in the Middle East after 3,000 years. And now we're going to refine it, and I think you're going to see some very positive things happen.
There is a potential to invite the Lebanese president to meet you to the White House.
I would do that, absolutely. And if the mayor would like to be here for that meeting, because I know he feels very strongly. I think you feel very, very strongly about peace in the Middle East.
We desperately want it, and that's something that I shared with the president, that when I spoke to New Yorkers who had voted for the president last November on Hillside Avenue and Fordham Road, I asked them why. I heard again and again 2 major reasons. One was that they wanted an end to forever wars. They wanted an end to the taxpayer dollars we had funding violations of human rights, and they wanted to address the cost of living crisis. And I appreciated the chance to discuss both of those things.
You said a lot of money.
And how does he plan on helping in any way? He's going to produce another rap video for us or what? Talking about falafels?
I voted.
Come on, bro.
And I'm okay with that. I'll do that. I'll sign it. Give it to me. I'll sign it in a minute. That's pretty good.
Mr. President, you've threatened to send federal troops to New York City. You both have differences when it comes to ICE agents in New York City.
Here we go.
Mr. Mamdani, you've called ICE a rogue government entity. I wonder how you reconcile your differences on both of those issues.
Well, I think we're going to work them out. And I think that if we have known murderers and known drug dealers and some very bad people, you know, we want to get them out. And the mayor wants to have peace. We discussed this at great length, actually, maybe more than anything else. He wants to have a safe New York. Ultimately, a safe New York is going to be a great New York. If it's not safe, no matter how well we do with pricing and with anything else, we can talk about anything you want. If you don't have safe streets, it's not going to be a success. So we're going to work together. We're going to make sure that if there are horrible people there, we want to get them out. I think he wants to get them out maybe more than I do. So we'll work together. We discussed it at great length. Yes, please.
Yeah, 2 questions, if I may. One for you, Mr. President, on BBC in a second. But first of all, for the mayor-elect. You're both from different parts of the political spectrum. You're both populists, though, and I just wonder to what extent the president's campaign style, his techniques, his social media use inspired any part of your campaign.
Well, I actually told the president that, you know, so much of the focus of our campaign has been on the cost of living crisis. And when we asked those New Yorkers who had voted for the president, when we saw an increase in his numbers in New York City that came back to the same issue: cost of living, cost of living, cost of living. And they spoke about the cost of groceries, the cost of rent, the cost of Con Ed, the cost of childcare. And too often politicians are looking to lecture to New Yorkers what they should care about as opposed to listen. And when we spoke to those voters who voted for President Trump, we heard them speak about cost of living. We focused on that same cost of living, and that's where I am really looking forward to delivering for New Yorkers in partnership with the president on the affordability agenda.
And I think we have to work a little bit. We talked about Con Edison. We have to work a little bit on getting the prices because, you know, we've gotten fuel prices way down, but it hasn't shown up in Con Edison. And we're going to have to talk to them. You know, if we're sending them fuel at a much lower price than it was a year ago, which is true, we have to get Con Edison to start lowering their rates.
Absolutely.
And if I may, last week you told me you were pushing ahead with your plans to sue the BBC for up to $5 billion. You're going to speak to Prime Minister Starmer as well. Is there any progress or any updates on those issues?
Well, we get along very well with the Prime Minister. We made a deal with UK. I like him. He's a fine person. And, you know, I think they have some big energy problems. You know, they've got windmills all over the place. They're going to have to start using other methods because their energy is out of control. Talking about in the UK, it's out of control. And he's got that problem. He's got a big immigration problem, as you know, and he's got a big energy problem. And we talk about it. He's a good man. Prime Minister's a good man.
Have you had a chance to speak this week?
I haven't spoken this week.
Mr. President, have you spoken to President Zelensky, or do you intend to meet with him? President Zelensky, about your plan? Are you going to meet with him?
I've spoken with their people. We have a plan. It's horrible what's happening. It's a war that should have never happened. It would have never happened if I was president, and it's a shame. And I thought they should have acted quicker. But it's a cold winter, and a lot of the you talk about utilities, but a lot of the big energy-producing plants have been under attack, to put it mildly, to put it nicely. Yeah, we have a way of getting peace, or we think we have a way of getting peace. He's going to have to approve it. Just so sad, so many people. You know, last month they lost 25,000 soldiers. This is something, we haven't seen anything like this since the Second World War. And they're averaging 6,000 or 7,000 a week between the two of them, dead soldiers. And it goes on, and I think they're getting reasonably close, but I don't want to predict. I would have said that would have been one of my early ones. I did 8 peace deals of countries, including in India, Pakistan. You could even go, in fact, they're coming here in a week or two, go to the Congo and Rwanda. That was 10 million people dead, and we worked something out on that. But so many, and the one I thought would have been, for me, because I have a very good relationship with President Putin, I thought that would have been maybe quicker. But it does take 2 to tango. And now you just see all the death. And, you know, it doesn't affect us other than the fact that we don't want to see all those people dead. Really, it's on the other side of the ocean. It's a war that should have never happened. It did happen. I blame the person also sitting right behind this desk. This is a war that should have never happened, and it wouldn't have happened if I were president. But we're trying to save a lot of lives. They're losing 25,000 lives over the last short period of time. That's Ukrainian and Russian, and it's a shame.
I want to ask the mayor-elect about a House resolution. It just passed overwhelmingly to condemn socialism, including with 86 Democrats, all of House Dem leadership, and the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, despite his endorsement of you. What's your reaction to that?
I have to be honest with you, I focused very little on resolutions. Frankly, I've been focusing...
Condemn socialism.
I understand. I think the focus is on the work at hand. I can tell you I am someone who is a democratic socialist. I've been very open about that. And I know there might be differences about ideology, but the place of agreement is the work that needs to be done to make New York City affordable. That's what I look forward to.
And I want to clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes. Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
And Mr. President, I wanted to ask you also about this Ukraine plan.
Yeah.
President Zelensky said today that his country would risk either giving up a partner or giving up its dignity. There's been criticism that this deal proposal...
He doesn't like it?
It's unclear. He was sort of tenuous about it.
He'll have to like it, and if he doesn't like it, then they should just keep fighting, I guess.
The suggestion that he made, though, was that if he doesn't accept it, that the U.S. would pull back its support for Ukraine. Is that
Well, at some
accurate?
point he's going to have to accept something. He hasn't accepted. You remember right in the Oval Office not so long ago, I said, you don't have the cards. Don't forget, I inherited this war. This war never would have happened. I inherited this war. And I thought he should have made a deal a year ago, 2 years ago. The ultimate deal would have been if it never started. That would have been the good deal. That could have been done too if you had the right president, but you didn't have the right president.
Mr. President, the cost of living is something that you and Mr. Mamdani seem to agree on. Democrats have run New York City for a long time, Mr. Mamdani. Do you see Democrat policy specifically as being a problem? And I'd like that be a question that both of you could answer in New York City.
Look, I think that there are many things in our city where we have to own the responsibility of it, things that existed long before the president was the president. And those are also part of the message of our campaign, was to take on a broken politics of the past. And I ran against a number of candidates who represented different versions of that past. And what we found time and again is that working people were left behind in the politics of our city. And what we're looking to do is put those people right back at the heart of our politics so that we don't have a situation where we're in the wealthiest city in the history of the world, and yet 1 in 5 can't even afford $2.90 for a Metro card.
Mr. President.
We had some interesting conversation, and some of his...
Dude keeps talking about a lot of stuff and brings up things, but I don't hear any solid, actual workable solutions. Not one yet. I'm still waiting to hear one actual solution, policy, plan, anything.
Ideas really are the same ideas that I have. But a big thing on cost, the new word is affordability. Another word is just groceries. It's sort of an old-fashioned word, but it's very accurate. And they're coming down high. They were, we had, both of us, we had the highest inflation in the history of our country the last 4 years under the Biden administration. And we've got inflation down now to a normal number. It's going to go even a little bit lower than that. Katie, do you have something in the back?
Mr. President, thank you so much. Mr. Mamdani often talks about New York City being...
I love how Trump is doubling down and working extra hard right now on cost of living and cost of goods and all that stuff, inflation. I love that. It's excellent thing to do.
Covered by international...
But I do want to see what Mamdani is talking about. We heard about free subways. We heard about grocery stores, socialist grocery stores. We heard government-run grocery stores, all kinds of other things. But we haven't heard of an actual plan. So I want to know, what is he? He says a lot about affordability. He says a lot about all kinds of things. But we still have yet to hear a plan.
Law, that they will follow international law. Doesn't often talk about the U.S. Constitution. What is your response to that?
Well, I don't know what you're referring to in terms it can be covered by international law, local law. It's covered by a lot of laws, but it's covered by U.S. law. Are you referring to anything in particular?
He just says that they're a city that endorses and enforces international law. Is that at odds with...
No.
You're talking about that fake smile. Yeah, that fake smile gets me, man. I can't stand that fake smile from Mamdani, bro. That commie Mamdani fake smile just gets under my skin, dude. Oh.
I don't know. Would you want to respond to that?
I think what I've shared with the president is our desire to not only follow the laws of our own city, laws that protect New Yorkers, but also a desire for consistency in our politics across the board. And that's something that we've talked about and something that I know many New Yorkers want.
So you work with ICE? We work with ICE then?
We discussed ICE and New York City, and I spoke about how the laws that we have in New York City allow for New York City government to speak to the federal administration for about 170 serious crimes. The concerns that many New Yorkers have are around the enforcement of immigration laws on New Yorkers across the five boroughs, and most recently we're talking about a mother and her two children, how this has very little to do with what that is.
So
Yorkers have around the enforcement of immigration laws on New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs, and most recently we're talking about a mother and her 2 children, how this has very little to do with what that is.
What did he just
we
say?
discuss crime more than...
Wait a minute.
ICE
What is
we
he
discuss
saying?
Crime. And he doesn't want to see crime,
Hold
and
on.
I don't want to see crime, and discuss crime. And
This has very little to do with serious crimes. ICE and New York City. We discussed ICE and New York City, and I spoke about how the laws that we have in New York City allow for New York City government to speak to the federal administration for about 170 serious crimes. The concerns that many New Yorkers have are around the enforcement of immigration laws on New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs, and most recently we're talking about a mother and her 2 children, how this has very little to do with what that is.
Mr. Mamdani,
What we did is we discussed crime. More than ICE per se, we discussed crime. And he doesn't want to see crime, and I don't want to see crime. And I have very little doubt that we're not going to get along on that issue. He wants to, and he said some things that were very interesting as to housing construction, and he wants to see houses go up. He wants to see a lot of houses created, a lot of apartments built, etc. And you know, we actually, people would be shocked, but I want to see the same thing.
Benjamin, bro. Kamala word salad in a mama boy package, bro. Here we go.
Mr. Mamdani, anti-Israel protesters.
Yeah, Mr. President, I wanted to know one of the policies as well that Mayor-elect Mamdani talked a number of times about on the campaign was shifting the tax burden for property taxes from what he called minority communities to white-based communities and putting more taxes on white people. I also noticed that in your acceptance speech you didn't mention anything about America or Christians or white people in general, and so I didn't know if that was one of the policies that you guys had spoken about.
We focused on affordability. We focused on the cost of living crisis. What I will say is that I am very much interested in property tax reform because what we see right now in New York City is a system that is so inequitable that it can't even stand up in court. And the president and I spoke about the importance of not only building more housing, but also making sure that regulation of housing is something that is manageable to actually get through and not the cause of yet another weight that we see in our
city. But to be clear, you're continuing this idea of race-based property taxes.
No, to be very clear,
that's what you said.
No, the use of the term was a description.
Oh, he's getting them. He says
description
that's what you said. It is what you said. Let's hear this again. Let's hear this again. Come on.
Of New York City, say is that I am very much interested in
general, and so I didn't know in your acceptance speech communities and putting more taxes on white people. I also noticed that in your acceptance speech you didn't mention anything about America or Christians or white people in general, and so I didn't know if that was one of the policies that you guys had spoken about.
We focused on affordability. We focused on the cost of living crisis. What I will say is that I am very much interested in property tax reform because what we see right now in New York City is a system that is so inequitable that it can't even stand up in court. And the president and I spoke about the importance of not only building more housing, but also making sure that regulation of housing is something that is manageable to
Listen how this guy follows up with the question, this reporter with his question. Listen to this.
Actually get through and not the cause of yet another weight that we see in our city.
But to be clear, you're continuing this idea of race-based property taxes.
No, to be very clear.
That's what you said.
No,
He says that's what you said. He says no. He says yes, it is. Listen to this.
The use of the term was a description of neighborhoods, not a description of intent.
So you intend to tax the whiter neighborhoods more?
No, we intend to create a fair property tax system because we want a New York City that is not only fair and equitable, but also one that everyone.
Damn, I want to hear this one more time.
Of race-based property taxes.
No, to be very clear.
That's what you said.
No, the use of the term.
I agree with. Give as much. We want to see. I use the term. We don't want good money going after bad.
A synagogue. You've threatened
to actually get through and not the cause of yet another weight that we see in our
city. But to be clear, you're continuing this idea of race-based property taxes.
No, to be very clear.
That's what you said.
No, the use of the term was a description of neighborhoods, not a description of intent.
So you intend to tax the whiter neighborhoods more?
No, we intend to create a fair property tax system because we want a New York City that is not only fair and equitable, but also one that every New Yorker can afford.
Please, God.
Mr. Mamdani, anti-Israel protesters just targeted a synagogue in New York. Are you concerned about Jewish New Yorkers feeling welcome and safe in the city? And President Trump, you've threatened to cut off federal funding to New York City. What policies would prompt you to do that? Would that be city-run grocery stores? Would it be something else?
Well, I think if we didn't get along, whether it's cut off or just make it a little bit difficult or not give as much, we want to see, I use the term, we don't want good money going after bad. And we don't want that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I did say that, subject to what policies are being said. We had a meeting today that actually surprised me. He wants to see no crime. He wants to see housing being built. He wants to see rents coming down, all things that I agree with. Now, we may disagree how we get there. The rent coming down, I think one of the things I really gleaned very much today, he'd like to see him come down, ideally, by building a lot of additional housing. Yeah. That's the ultimate way. He agrees with that, and so do I. But if I read the newspapers and the stories. I don't hear that, but I heard him say it today, and I think that's a very positive step. No, I don't expect. I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. A big help, because I want New York City to be great. Look, I love New York City. It's where I come from. I spent a lot of years there. Now I'm right here. We took a big setback with the mayor that we had, named de Blasio. I thought it was a tremendous setback for the city. I think this mayor can do some things that are going to be really great.
Mr. President, Mr. President,
Mr. President, you.
Thank you, Mr. President. You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays than you used to, but you used to call New York City home. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I think I want him to do a great job, and we'll help him do a great job. You know, he may have different views, but in many ways, you know, we were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea, because he was strong on not getting ripped off in trade and lots of the things that I've practiced and been very successful on. Tariffs, a lot of things. Bernie Sanders and I agreed on much more than people thought. And when he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. And, you know, it just turned out to be a statistical truth. But no, I feel very comfortable. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question for you, but a very quick one for the mayor. Why did you fly here? Aren't trains greener?
I'll use every form of transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
There is a bus that goes.
Well, but I know, but if he flew, that's a lot quicker too. You know, I mean, he's working very hard. For him to be, that's a very long drive. I'll stick up. For him to be,
affordable in New York City, and that's why.
Very quick one for the mayor. Why did you fly here? Aren't trains greener?
I'll use every form of transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
There is a bus that goes.
Well, but I know, but if he flew, that's a lot quicker too. You know, I mean, he's working very hard. For him to be, that's a very long drive. I'll stick up for you. You know, the plane takes you 30 minutes, and driving takes you a long
Mr.
time.
President, I was wondering if you could clear up some confusion around a Washington Post report. There was this explosive report that the Coast Guard is no longer going to characterize swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. DHS called that a lie and fake news. Can you clear up?
I don't know anything about it. When was this written?
I think yesterday.
Well, look, the Coast Guard's an incredible group of people. I know them very well. We just ordered a lot of new Coast Guard cutters, beautiful, the most magnificent ship. They look like yachts with lots of guns on them. So I don't know. I haven't seen any report like that, but certainly we want them to remain a great force, and they are.
You're a peacemaker, and you did the peace in all the 9 months around the world. I would like to ask Mr. Mamdani, you've accused the U.S. government of committing genocide in Gaza while President Trump was working on peace. Why that?
I've spoken about the Israeli government committing genocide, and I've spoken about our government funding it. And I shared with the president in our meeting about the concern that many New Yorkers have of wanting their tax dollars to go towards the benefit of New Yorkers and their ability to afford basic dignity. And what we see right now is we're in the 9th consecutive year of more than 100,000 school children being homeless in our city. And there's a desperate need not only for the following of human rights, but also the following through on the promises we've made New Yorkers. And I appreciated the meeting we had and the work that we can do.
Do you agree that President Trump did do a peace, and he worked hard to make the peace, because he worked hard to do the peace in the Middle East and everywhere? Do you agree with that?
I appreciate all efforts towards peace, and I shared with President Trump that when I spoke to Trump voters on Hillside Avenue, including one of whom was a pharmacist that spoke about how President Trump's father actually went to that pharmacy not too far from Jamaica Estates, that people were tired of seeing our tax dollars fund endless wars. And I also believe that we have to follow through on the international human rights, and I know that still today those are being violated, and that continues to be work that has to be done no matter where we're speaking of.
Mr. President, question for Mr. Thank you, Mr. President. Do you view the mayor-elect as the true leader of the Democrat Party? And do you think Leader Schumer's and Leader Jeffries, have to follow his lead?
Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused on New York City. I really think he has a chance to do a great job. We're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job. But I'll let you answer that. You consider yourself the leader of the Democrats? I think it's more appropriate for him.
I consider myself the next mayor of New York City, and I keep my horizons firmly on New York City, and I appreciate the meeting with the president, which focused again on the 5 boroughs and whether New Yorkers could afford to live there.
By the way, being the mayor of New York City is a big deal.
Absolutely.
I always said, you know, one of the things I would love to be someday is the mayor of New York City. Being the mayor of New York, and especially now, because I think you're at really a turning point, one way or the other. It could go great, or it can go in a different direction. And I think you really have a chance to make it great.
Mr. President, you say you love New York City. Mr. Mamdani, does New York City love President Trump?
New York City loves a future that is affordable. And I can tell you that there were more New Yorkers who voted for President Trump in the most recent presidential election because of that focus on cost of living. And I'm looking forward to working together to deliver on that affordability agenda.
I got a lot of votes. One more. Go ahead. 1 or 2 more. Go ahead. I tell you, the press has eaten this thing up. You know, I've had a lot of meetings with the heads of major countries. Nobody cared. This meeting that you people have gone crazy. You know, outside you have hundreds of people waiting. This is just a small little group. For some reason, the press has found this to be a very interesting meeting. The biggest people in the world, they come over from countries nobody cares. But they did care about this meeting, and it was a great meeting. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President, I was going to ask you exactly that. Why do you think there's so much more, so much excitement around this than even some foreign leaders?
Because I think he's different. All right, I think he's different, and that can be in a very positive way. But I think he's different than
Why? Because he's a self-proclaimed socialist. That's why.
Your typical guy runs, wins, becomes mayor maybe,
and we're watching the liberal Democrat Party transition genders from woke to socialism and socialism to communism. It's happening as we speak. That's why everyone wants to see what's going on and what this socialist, communist, Marxist has to say.
Nothing exciting, because he has a chance to really do something great for New York. New York is at a very critical point, and he does need the help of the federal government to really succeed, and we're going to be helping him. But he's different than your average candidate. He came out of nowhere. I said he has a great campaign manager standing over there. He came out of nowhere. Would you start off at 1 or 2? And then I watched.
He literally came out of nowhere and never had a job. Did one rap video that was disgusting. It's really hard to watch. I challenge anyone that knows about it to actually go and watch the whole video. Hold your stomach when you do. Never really did anything in his life. The guy came from nowhere, is a nobody, and is now sitting behind the president in the Oval Office, about to run New York City. I guess the American dream is very much alive, isn't it?
I say, who is this guy?
You can be a 0 and become the mayor of New York City. New York City?
He was at 1, then he was at 3, then he was at 5, then he was at 9. Then he went up to 17. I said, that's getting a little bit interesting, right? And then all of a sudden he wins a primary that nobody expected he was going to win. It's a great tribute. I mean, it's an amazing thing that he did.
And I'll just add one thing to what the president said. Is one thing I also appreciated is
the roles at the end of this year in New York City. Are you going to allow those police to be replaced with police officers, actual cops? And are you going to require that happens? Would there be some consequence if the staffing
happens? But again, that's going to be ultimately the mayor's decision.
What's your answer?
How are we looking,
guys? I
guys?
look forward to delivering public safety
Looking
with
good?
NYPD, and I've said over the course of our campaign that we have the number of police officers today. They are the ones that's budgeted about 35,000 headcount. And I think the key thing is that we have to make it easier for police to focus on police work, not ask them to respond to 200,000 mental health calls a year.
So is that a reduction from what you're at right now? Are you committing to maintaining the same level of cops?
I've committed over the course of the campaign to maintain the 35,000. That's the headcount that we had through the campaign.
And not replace them with caseworkers, social workers?
No, I've said that's the headcount that we want. What we need to do is make sure they can focus on serious crime.
And he just retained a great police commissioner, I believe, right?
Yes, we did. Commissioner Tisch.
If the newspapers are correct.
That one they're correct about.
He retained, I think, somebody that is she's a good friend of some of the people in my family, of Ivanka, and they say she's really good, really competent, and he just retained her, so that's a good sign.
Mr. President, are there still topics that you see the two of you disagreeing on in the future, and do you think you'll have more meetings like this?
There will be topics that we disagree on. I think we'll probably come to.
Are there still topics that you see the two of you disagreeing on in the future, and do you think you'll have more meetings like this?
There will be topics that we ultimately he'll convince me or I'll convince him. You know, it's for the good of New York. Ultimately, it's for the good of New York. I don't care about affiliations or parties or anything else. I want to see if this city could be unbelievable.
That's the only problem with the cabin is sometimes the internet's not as good as my other studio. So, damn, bro. How are we looking? Are we still up? Are we running? Is it still running? Can you guys hear me? Can you all hear me still? Yeah, no, yes, no. How are we looking? Is it running? Yes, we hear. Okay, so you guys can hear, but is the sound here? Let's hit.
If he could be a spectacular
How about
success,
that?
I'd be very happy.
Do you think you guys will meet more in the future, too?
Excuse?
Do you think you'll meet again in the future, throughout the administration?
I think we will. I hope we do. I enjoyed the meeting. We had a great meeting. Please.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't. But she's out there campaigning, and you say things sometimes in a campaign.
Isn't that sort of divisive?
She's a very capable person.
Isn't
But
that a kind of label?
you really have to ask her about that. But no, I don't particularly. I think I met with I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who really wants to see New York be great again. And I can say again, because New York was great. When I came down to Washington initially, the city was so hot. It was doing great. We were so